Hello, everybody. Everybody's welcome to take their seats. We are ready to start our last closing plenary session for the conference. Colleagues, please.
You want to double?
Just trying to draw your attention. Welcome everybody again for the last closing plenary session. The whole team of the preparations are back here with the chair's summary, and I'm honorably give the chairmanship back to the chair for his summary report. And thank you for getting back to the hall here. Please, Mr. Urs Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Distinguished Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, there is no doubt that this has been a very productive 2 days of meetings for the ICPD review in the UNECE region. Let me thank and congratulate you for your strong commitment to the ICPD agenda and for your very constructive and far-reaching recommendations for the way forward. As I proposed on the first day, and with the valuable help of the rapporteur, I have captured the key issues and recommendations from the sessions over the 2 days. They have now been included in my summary. You had a chance to review the draft summary, and your comments and suggestions were taken into account in finalizing it. I would like to sincerely thank you for your understanding and cooperation in reaching this point, and I must stress that it was a valuable experience for me to be working with you on this common endeavor. As I said at the outset, I take the responsibility for the chairman's summary. It is not a negotiated document, although I have been keen to consult it with you and to reflect in the most consensual way what has been said during this conference. I thank all the speakers who have intervened, and I ask for their indulgence if I was not able to reflect all elements they put forward. There will be a full report of the conference which will more comprehensively reflect the presentations and debates. But I truly believe that we now have a set of recommendations, ideas and lessons learned that will enable us to respond effectively to the changing dynamics of our region with respect to population dynamics and sustainable development, families, sexual and reproductive health over the life course, inequalities, and ensuring social inclusion and rights, and strengthening partnership and international cooperation. Let me just outline some of the basic agreements reflected in the chairman's summary. Respect the rights of individuals and put them at the center of development processes and implement measures that ensure equality before the law, including the right to gainful employment, residence and access to services. Advance gender equality and address the sources of inequities across the region, notably those related to limited access to quality education, health services and employment, and to ensure that attention is given to vulnerable individuals and families. Promote and protect sexual and reproductive health and rights as essential to achieving gender equality, social justice, and sustainable development. Adopt a human rights-based approach to sexual and reproductive health that ensures the right of everyone to make free, informed, and responsible decisions without any form of discrimination, stigma, coercion, or violence. Invest in human capital throughout the life course of individuals and build the capacities of adolescents and youth to develop their full potential and allow them meaningful participation in all stages of the formulation of policies and programs. Support communities to promote independent, active, and healthy aging at their place of residence and ensure that they receive the long-term care they need. Develop appropriate public policy responses and legal frameworks that provide support to families in dealing with work-life challenges, quality early childhood education. Enhance understanding of human rights-based, gender-sensitive and responsive, non-discriminatory approaches to all individuals, regardless of age, sex, ethnicity, religion, marital status, disability, HIV status, sexual orientation, gender identity, or immigration status. Give greater attention to protecting and fulfilling the rights of migrants, including victims of human trafficking and those forced to leave their homes due to humanitarian crisis. Put in place gender-sensitive and life skills-based comprehensive sexuality education for young people in formal and informal settings, so they are able to protect themselves from unwanted pregnancy, HIV, and sexually transmitted infections. Ensure zero tolerance for gender-based violence and call for measures to criminalize violence against women and girls and provide all victims or survivors of gender-based violence with access to critical services. Improve the collection and reporting of reliable and comparable population and SRH data across the countries of the UNECE region that includes information on vulnerable and marginalized groups. Strengthen partnership among local, national, and international civil society and youth organizations. And ensure responsive governance that is based on accountability, participation, transparency, and rule of law. This is just a short summary or a highlighting some of the results and some of the elements in my summary. Again, thank you for your cooperation. The summary will be made available to the ICPD Beyond 2014 Secretariat. The Swiss government will also carry this summary to the UN Secretary General. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I open the floor for any remarks and any additional remark that would like to be made. Do we have a speaker? Malta. I see delegation of Malta.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the floor. The delegation of the Republic of Malta refers to the Chair's summary and with special reference to paragraphs 13, 19 and 24 wishes to make the following comments, thereby registering its objection to the inclusion of reference to the rights and services related to abortion. It is pertinent to point out that according to the Maltese Criminal Code, Malta considers the termination of pregnancy through induced abortion as illegal. In this spirit, Malta reaffirms that its action will adhere to the understanding reached in the ICPD Programme of Action, stating that, I quote, "Any measures or changes related to abortion within the health system can only be determined at the national or local level according to the national legislative process. Within the context of these national legal obligations, the Republic of Malta can only accept language that does not carry any implications that a state is required to legitimize abortion or that abortion is a legitimate form of birth control. Consequently, the Republic of Malta maintains that any recommendation on sexual and reproductive health and rights, commodities or services should not in any way create an obligation on any party to consider abortion as a legitimate form of reproductive health services. In accordance with the Cairo ICPD Program of Action, the Republic of Malta maintains that in no case should abortion be promoted as a method of family planning, since we understand that the dignity and the right to life of both the mother and the unborn child need to be fully respected at all times. The delegation of Malta wishes to have these said remarks reflected in the report of this conference, and I thank you, Chair.
I thank the delegation of Malta, and the conference has taken note of your comment, and this will be reflected in the report of the conference as you wish. And I would also like to thank you for your cooperation during this conference. Is there another delegation that wishes to take the floor? I see the youth delegation. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and the Secretariat. We welcome with extreme pleasure this Chair's summary and look forward to using it in our further advocacy as youth delegates in the ICPD beyond 2014 and post-2015 development agendas moving forward. We are particularly happy to see such strong references to a comprehensive and integrated package of sexual and reproductive health services, including the provision of safe and legal abortion services for young women and adolescent girls, as we see this as not only part of our human rights, but specifically our right to health, as has been recognized in numerous international human rights frameworks and their analyses. Therefore, on behalf of the youth delegation, thank you very much for this summary, and we look forward again to using it in our outcomes moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do not want to reopen the whole conference. I see that you are still with stamina to continue deliberations. But if you allow me now to proceed to the closing of the conference, I would be very glad. Is there any objection that we proceed to the closing of the conference? I thank you very much. So I invite now Andrey Vasilyev, the Deputy Executive Secretary of the UNECE, to take the floor for closing comments. Please, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chair. Well, with your permission and after your excellent summary, I'll be very short. I think this meeting came very much about partnerships between countries, between various generations, between various stakeholders. And I think that was a cross-cutting theme here. And I think it was a really outstanding 2 days, not only about the substantive issues, old challenges, new challenges, but there was lots of energy, or if I might say population dynamics in the room. So there was lots of human energy engaged. One of the reflections, as a UN official, I cannot comment whether it's Swiss weather or Portuguese weather. I leave it to member states to sort out. But the fact that all of you stayed in the room for so long till the end, in spite of the great weather, is, of course, very much shows your commitment and your interest in the issues which are discussed here. So I congratulate you on successful outcome. I would like to thank once again our partners in UNFPA, in the Swiss government, but most importantly, all of you for your energy, contribution, commitment, which made this event successful and which allowed us, in spite of, I have to reiterate that a year ago I had doubts, but right now it's definite that this partnership with you, with UNFPA, delivered very good fruits. So we're looking forward our continued cooperation and looking forward to seeing you again in Palais des Nations on similar and other occasions. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. I also invite Mr. Werner Haug, the Director of the Regional Office for Eastern Europe and Central Asia of UNFPA, to take the floor for some closing comments. Werner, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. On behalf of UNFPA, I can say that we are extremely satisfied with these 2 days. And personally, I must say, when we started discussing about this conference, and we heard a lot of comments, or some comments also from governments, well, the ICPD agenda, is the ICPD agenda really relevant for us, for this region? Is this not for developing countries? Or is it not basically about, reducing fertility? And I think this is a key message really of these 2 days, that this agenda is relevant, highly relevant for all countries of this region. And I think this makes it also very valid as an input into the discussions for the post-2015 agenda, which will be a global agenda. And I think we have a solid basis rooted also in the human rights approach, which came out really very strongly to make sure that the results of the ICPD Beyond 2014 process strengthens the post-2015 discussion and will be reflected in it. Let me just make one other comment on how we are going to make this forward. We were talking about partnerships, and what we discussed during these 2 days, and also the documentation, the report, which was made available in preparation of this conference, will have to be taken forward, and not only by UNFPA, but by you, by the governments, by the partners, by the youth organizations. And I'm very happy that we have already tomorrow, in fact, the first step in this direction with the civil society meeting organized by IPPF with the support of the government of the Netherlands. In our region, and I'm talking now about Eastern Europe and Central Asia, where we saw also during these discussions that some of the issues and problems need special attention, and where we have also countries which have less resources than in Western Europe or in North America. We will take this agenda forward. We will work with governments, with our partners in the region, and we hope very much also on the ongoing support by our development partners. And I welcome explicitly also the new development partners that are engaged in this region. I would like to mention in particular Russia. We had a contribution in the panel of the Czech Republic. We have to redefine our partnerships and invest more across Eastern Europe and Central Asia. With this, I can conclude also with a word of thanks to the chair, to the vice chair, to the keynote speakers and presenters, and to all of you who took the floor or who were just listening and thinking about what is going on. NGOs and also our UN partner agencies, in particular WHO and UNICEF. I would like to thank the members of the organizing committee, the chair's support group, and UNECE, which was our main partner in organizing this event. And I think that these 2 days showed that UNECE and UNFPA, in particular the regional office for Eastern Europe and Central Asia, are excellent partners. We are complementary. We have complementary roles, and this gives us the opportunity to build synergies and to draw on each other's strengths. I would also like to thank really the Swiss government. Without support of the Swiss government, financial support, and also steering us through this process, we would not have been able to organize this meeting. With this, I would like to conclude, and on behalf of UNFPA, I wish you all the best. Travel safely back.
Thank you. So that brings me really to the conclusion of this conference. I would not like to conclude without saying thanks to the Vice Chair. The Vice Chair has not only been springing in when I was not able to chair, but also he was very active behind the scenes, and I could count on his cooperation for finalizing the summaries, the chairman's summary. But naturally, a very, very great thank goes to the coordinator, to the executive coordinator of the ICPD Beyond 2014 Secretariat, Fabena Osei Dankwa. Thank you very much. Without your help, we wouldn't have finished at this time, which is shortly after, but very, very good. Thank you very much. I very much appreciated the cooperation with you. Naturally, thanks to the Secretariat. You have been wonderful, Vitalia. It has been a very good experience working with you for not only to these 2 days. I must point out I've been working with her for the last couple of weeks to make this conference happen. So thank you to all those. Thank you naturally to the whole staff of the UNFPA who was working behind the scenes during this 2 days conference. To the conference services, my thanks. To the interpreters, my heartfelt thanks. And to all those that I have not mentioned, thank you very much. Naturally also to members of my own delegation who have supported me. With that, ladies and gentlemen, this conference is closed. I wish you a very nice travel back, come safely home back, and hope to see you again in a similar setting. Bye.